Imagine waking up every day to a world carefully crafted just for you. A world where every piece of news, every opinion, and every image aligns perfectly with what you already believe. It sounds convenient, even comforting. But what if this personalized reality is hiding the truth, isolating you from differing perspectives, and shaping your thoughts without you even realizing it? In a world dominated by social media, are we truly in control of what we see? Or are we trapped inside a bubble of our own making? You see, even though social media promises to connect us, studies have shown that we've never been more divided. Are we living in a bubble? A digital bubble where the reality we see is just an illusion crafted by algorithms? It just may be so. This is the dark side of social media, a place where manipulation, isolation, and deception thrive. Now, to first understand the bubble, we must first understand how social media operates. At the heart of these platforms are algorithms designed to keep you engaged. They learn your preferences, track your behavior, and show you content that keeps you scrolling. While this might seem convenient, it comes at a cost: the creation of filter bubbles. So filter bubbles occur when algorithms prioritize content that aligns with your past behavior, effectively shielding you from differing viewpoints. Over time, your feed becomes an echo chamber, where you're only exposed to ideas that reinforce your existing beliefs. For example, imagine two users with different political views. Their social media feeds will show vastly different realities, leading each to believe their perspective is the dominant or correct one. This distortion of reality feeds into a false sense of consensus and further deepens divisions. You see, these bubbles are more than just curated content. They are communities that reinforce our biases. Echo chambers thrive on social media, where like-minded individuals cluster together, amplifying each other's beliefs. The danger here is quite clear. The more insulated we become, the harder it is to engage with opposing viewpoints or consider alternative perspectives. The result? A world that feels increasingly divided and polarized. Now, social media platforms are designed to be addictive. The dopamine rush from likes, shares, and comments keeps us coming back for more. As you would understand, this cycle of validation is no accident. It is specially engineered to maximize engagement. But the real question here, are we using social media, or is it using us? This question strikes at the heart of our relationship with these platforms. As we spend more time in our curated digital worlds, we often compare our lives to the highlights of other people's posts. This constant comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. Despite being more connected than ever, studies show that people feel lonelier and more isolated. Ironically, social media, rather than bringing us together, often leaves us feeling disconnected. But why do these platforms make it so easy to fall into the trap of comparison? Well, one way to look at it, the influencers and viral content we see create unrealistic standards of success, beauty, and happiness. These carefully crafted images and narratives make it easy to forget that what we see online is often a highly edited version of reality. The pressure to conform to these false realities can be overwhelming, leading to a culture of comparison and an erosion of self-esteem. Now, what happens when the distortion of reality goes beyond personal perception and begins to influence entire societies? You see, the societal impact of social media is quite profound. Misinformation spreads like fire, taking advantage of the same algorithms that create our bubbles. Recent years demonstrate how social media played its role in major societal events, from elections to protests. Unfortunately, these moments are often marred by the spread of fake news and conspiracy theories. For one, consider the 2016 US presidential election. Social media was a battleground for misinformation, with fabricated stories being shared millions of times. These false narratives shaped public opinion, deepened divisions, and even heavily influenced the outcome of the election. Misinformation thrives in filter bubbles, where users are less likely to encounter fact-checking or opposing views, creating a skewed version of reality. Now, is the spread of misinformation the only casualty of our fast-paced digital world? Well, in our rush to consume content, social media often reduces complex issues into sound bites. This simplification fosters a black and white view of the world, leaving little room for nuance or thoughtful debate. Issues like climate change are often presented as binary choices, ignoring the complexities of the conversation. This oversimplification stunts meaningful discourse and exacerbates polarization. Now, beyond societal divisions and misinformation, social media can have a devastating impact on individuals, particularly young and vulnerable users. You may have read headlines such as "Teen takes own life after cyberbullying on social media," or perhaps even headlines that reads, "Parents blame Instagram for daughter's suicide after viewing harmful content." Headlines like these all over the internet underscore the platform's dark side. In one case study, the 15-year-old Canadian girl Amanda Todd became a symbol of the dangers of cyberbullying. After a long sequence of being harassed online, Amanda shared her story through a YouTube video, in which she detailed the torment she had endured. Tragically, Amanda took her own life shortly after posting the video, sparking a global conversation about the harmful effects of online harassment. Another tragic story is that of Molly Russell, a 14-year-old who died by suicide after viewing self-harm and suicide-related content on Instagram. Molly's case gained international attention, prompting a broader discussion about the responsibility of social media platforms in protecting users from harmful content. Her father, Ian Russell, has since become a vocal advocate for safer online environments, highlighting the devastating consequences of unregulated content. Now, let's consider, what if these tragic events are not just the result of harmful content, but part of a larger system built to profit of user engagement, regardless of the consequences? You see, social media platforms are not just tools for connection, they are profit-driven enterprises. Their business model relies on engagement, which means keeping you on the platform as long as possible. Basically, the more you scroll, the more ads you see, and the more data they collect. This cycle is fueled by content that evokes strong emotional reactions. You see, anger, outrage, and fear drive engagement, and in their turn, engagement drives profits. This dynamic raises a critical question. If outrage drives profits, are we being turned into products or advertisers? Keep in mind that our attention is commodified and our data is sold to the highest bidder. The platforms benefit from our divisiveness because it keeps us engaged and profitable. Now, aside from the profit gain social media seeks, the business of social media extends to surveillance. These platforms collect vast amounts of data about our habits, preferences, and behaviors. This data, of course, is used to personalize our experience further and keep us locked in the bubble. While platforms claim to protect our privacy, many have been accused of exploiting personal data. Our digital lives are monitored and manipulated in ways we do not often realize, shaping our behavior and choices without our explicit consent. Several major social media platforms have faced legal scrutiny or prosecution over the years for exploiting users' data. Here are some key examples. Facebook, now of course known as Meta, has been involved in multiple scandals related to user data exploitation. One of the most notable cases was the Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018. It was revealed that the data of millions of users was harvested without consent and used for political targeting during the 2016 US presidential election. Facebook faced regulatory investigations and a hefty fine of $5 billion from the Federal Trade Commission in 2019 for privacy violations. Similarly, Google's YouTube has faced multiple legal issues regarding user data. In 2019, Google had paid $170 million fine to the Federal Trade Commission for violating children's privacy. YouTube had collected personal data from children under the age of 13 without parental consent. TikTok, of course, is another renowned social platform that has been investigated and faced multiple lawsuits related to the collection of user data. In 2019, it settled with the Federal Trade Commission for $5.7 million over allegations that it illegally collected personal information from children. Additionally, TikTok has faced scrutiny over its data privacy practices and concerns about user data potentially being accessed by the Chinese government due to the platform's ownership by a Chinese company. These are only some of the cases that highlight the ongoing concerns regarding how social media platforms handle user data. Now, the big question is, can we escape the bubble? After all these years of relying on social media and giving it so much power in controlling our lives and our views? Well, breaking free from the bubble can be quite challenging. After all, the system is designed to keep us inside, constantly feeding us content that reinforces our beliefs and keep us engaged. Well, for the lack of a better example, it's like being a hamster on a wheel. No matter how hard we try to escape, the design of these platforms pulls us back right in. At the very least, and despite the challenges, there are ways to mitigate the bubble's effect. Diversifying our sources of information is crucial. By exposing ourselves to different perspectives, we can challenge our assumptions and broaden our understanding. Limiting screen time is another effective strategy. By setting boundaries and being mindful to our social media use, we can reduce its influence on our lives. And the most important part is critically evaluating every content we consume. Question all the information we see, especially if it aligns perfectly with our beliefs. Always fact-check, seek out reliable sources, and be wary of content designed to provoke strong emotional reactions. Taking these steps can help regain control over our digital experience. While individual efforts can help, can we genuinely break free from the bubble without holding the platforms accountable for their role in sustaining it? There is no denying that individual action is important, but systematic change is also necessary. Social media platforms must be held accountable for their role in spreading misinformation and fostering division. We need more ethical practices, transparency, and digital literacy to navigate this landscape effectively. By demanding better from these platforms, we can work towards a healthier digital environment. It's important to keep in mind that the dark side of social media isn't just about the bubbles we live in. It's about what we are losing while we are inside them. We've traded genuine connection for engagement and authentic discourse for divisive content. But we have the power to change this narrative. By questioning the reality shaped by algorithms and taking steps to diversify our perspectives, we can begin to break free from the bubble. As we reflect on our relationship with social media, we must ask ourselves, how much of our reality is shaped by an algorithm? And more importantly, how much of it are we willing to question? This is the end of our video. If you have any thoughts or a personal experience you wish to share, leave it in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.